Hey, what's going on? We got a GE front load wash machine. The customer complaint is it won't drain. I already tried to start running it, and I tried to drain it, but I couldn't get it to drain. All I heard was the pump humming, but no water was coming out. So I vacuumed. Get yourself a Shop Vac. Put the link in the description. I vacuum the wash machine out. Pretty much vacuum inside here. And on these front loaders, they have a secret compartment down here. If you see this, it's like a little indentation right here. Get you a flat tip screwdriver, and just get inside there and just prop it down. You see how they pop out? Take this off, and then you got like a little, well, we got a little filter right there. What you're gonna do is twist this filter off slowly. As you twist it slowly, some water's gonna come out. I already got all the water vacuum out before I started the video. But as you twist this off, water's gonna come out. So just vacuum, okay? Use your wet, dry Shop Vac to get the water out. What you're gonna do is take this filter completely off and twist off, right? Inside this filter, you might have some debris, socks, something big caught up inside there. If it is, then dump this out and then retry it again, and that might solve your problem. But for our case, this filter was completely clear, but it still wasn't draining, so we know we got to change the drain pump. All right. To change the drain pump, I'm gonna put the part number that we're changing. Put that in the description so you can order it from me to help us out, or order from Amazon. I'm gonna see so I can get a piece of that. All right. But what you're gonna need is either a 1/4" nut driver or a Phillips head screwdriver. Underneath there, as you can see, let me get my flashlight on. Underneath there, right at the bottom base, there's flashlight and run away. There's a screw. Let me try to get down here so the camera can get it. As you can see what I'm pointing to, there's a screw. There's a Phillips head screw, one right there, one in the middle, and then one in the end over here, in the corner down at the bottom. All right, you're gonna take those 3 screws off. In this bottom panel, if you got this separate, that's gonna come down, and you're gonna have access to the pump. So give me a second while I take these screws off with my nut driver, and I'll be right back. Alright, I got those 3 screws removed, as you can see. One of them rusted, so I'm probably not gonna put that one back in. That's the one that's in the middle. As long as you got really one on the ends, it's gonna hold that plate up. So now that screw off, I just see how that just dropped. It just dropped and fell. Now the bottom kick plate is removed. Inside here is where my drain pump is. This is my whole drain pump assembly in here. There's also a manual for your service manual. So what we gonna do is we're gonna remove this drain pump. Alright, we're gonna take this drain pump off and change it out. Alright, let's get started. Alright, as you can see, this is the new pump. What holds this pump down is it's gonna be a screw in there and a screw right there. Screw right there that holds that pump down. Then we're gonna loose the power connector from the pump, and we're gonna take these 2 hoses off. That's what we're gonna do for the old one. All right, let's do it. It's probably best to take the hoses off at this point first. You'll need those pliers or some type of pliers to squeeze those clamps. Squeeze those clamps and then slide down the hose. Right. I can't do it with one hand, so I'm gonna take these clamps. I'm gonna slide these clamps. I'm gonna slide the clamps down the hose just a little bit. I'm gonna slide it down the hose so I can take it off. All right, give me a second. All right, I got the clamp. I basically squeezed the clamp with my pliers, and I move it down the hose, and now I can take that hose off and squeeze that one. And I got that hose off. All right there, you're gonna see your connectors. Just disconnect those connectors. It don't matter. So you ain't gotta remember which wire goes where. It don't matter. It's 120, okay? All right. So Alright, now my power is disconnected from my drain pump. The hose is loose. Now let's take that. Let's take that bolt out, and we're gonna take that bolt out. Alright, now you can take the bolts off. Get those bolts off and I'll be right back. Alright, I got the 2 bolts out of the hose right there. So now at this point the pump is disconnected. So it should just come on out. You see how I just pulled it out back? Right? Just take it out. That's my pump. It's coming on out. So that's the bad pump. And here is, oops, the new pump. Alright, new pump already come with the filter housing and everything. Alright, I just gotta go in reverse. I'm gonna go mount it, put my 2 screws back in, and then put my hoses on, plug it back in, and then I'll be right back. One thing, you see these little rubbers? Make sure those rubbers still, the little grommets is still in there, because that's where those gonna slide into. Alright, let me put it back in there. Get the wire out of my way, put it on top of the pump. Okay. And now I'll just slide my pump back. You see how those white pieces went inside that rubber? Alright. So my hose should be lined up. You see the hose? Put the screws back in. Okay, let's put my screws back in and I'll be right back. Alright, something that's I don't want you all to be concerned with, but on this pump, the connectors was long ways like that. On that pump, the connectors, let me get my flashlight so you can see the connectors is like that. You see the difference? But it don't matter as long as you plug one into one prong and one to the other prong. Right? Again, it don't matter which one goes where as long as it's plugged in. You got 2 connectors. Just plug one into one and the other to the other. Like that. What is it? Like that. You see that? The pump you ordered may look like the original, but just in case it look like that, just as long as you plug one into each. Alright? I got my hoses back on. I'm about to use my pliers and clamp them, slide a clamp back down. That is very important, because it will leak if you do not. And your house will be flooded and you be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Put your clamps on. Put your clamps on right, okay? Give me a second. Let me put them down. Alright, so I got my clamp slid down. You see it's down. Alright. Wires connected. Screws mounted. Alright. Just make certain that this is tight. It is. Before you put the cover back on, dry all the water off the floor. Dry the water off the bottom of that white pan. Underneath that hose, you want to dry all the water up first. And then we're going to test it. That way, if you see any new water, then you know you got a little leak and your clamp's not on good. Alright? This step is important. Don't just put everything back on together until you dry it up and then run a test. You can test it like this with this cover off. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dry the water up off the floor. Then we're going to run a test. You saw on my particular wash machine, it has the test sheet right here. This is how you get in test mode. You can just turn the water on and turn the pump on by itself. We're going to do that. I already know how to get in test mode. That's why I'm not going to open that up. All right, here we go. If you don't know how to, if you can't figure it out, just run a rinse and spin cycle. A rinse and spin is going to be real quick. It's going to fill it up. It should start washing, and then you can stop it and maybe just do a do they got a spin only cycle on here? It's probably just hold that spin button down. All right, but give me a second. Let me dry this water up and then we're gonna test her out. All right, so I just got it plugged back in. You got 30 seconds to do this. Yours might be different, but I know mine's is temperature delay. Temperature delay. And see it just locked. I'm in test mode. All right. That's my drain pump starter. All right, so it should say TO1. I know my water is, I think, 7. TO7. Let's start. Yep, cold water coming in. All right, where's my flashlight? In my pocket. So now watch the water's gonna come in. And I'm gonna look down here and make sure I ain't got no leaks. Yep. I'm just checking my pump, make sure I don't see nothing dripping. I don't see nothing dripping, all right? I'm gonna let it fill up just a little bit inside here. It should be filling. You're gonna see the puddle coming in a second. You can see it's forming now. All right. I still ain't got no leaks. I like to rub my hand underneath that hose just to make sure my hand is still dry. Alright, everything is still dry. Alright, still dry, no leaks. That is my concern. Alright, go to the next one. I think hit the power button. You can hear it draining. I hear it draining hard. So y'all can hear that drain. Alright, that was a good drain. Alright, still no leaks. So now we know we drained. We could test everything else in test mode, but for this video, the repair is complete. What you're gonna do is put your cover back on. All you gotta do is sit it up here. I'm gonna hold it one hand, just sit it back up there. Put your 3 screws back in. Put your cover back over here. Just sit this up, put your cover back over here, and your repair is complete. I hope you appreciate this video. Support, give me a good like and subscribe for more. All right, talk to you later.